in breath, sound, and movement, and the magical capacities of the human incarnation. We're going to just get started with some Qigong. And it's internal organ Qigong we're going to do. And we're going to do it with an eye for really rooting ourselves. So let's just start actually by coming down here, really feeling our feet on the floor, sinking down, and getting some circles going in our knees, really feeling our feet rooting into the ground, into the aina. Mahalo aina, thank you. Aloha aina, I love you. Really bringing awareness into the body. Breathing in through the nose, sinking the breath down into the belly, the dantian. Circle the other way. This work that we're doing today, coming on up slowly. This work that we're doing today, knees bent, circling the hips, is an invitation to stay really present in the body, really present to sensation. Breathing into the sensations that are here and allowing your voice, allowing sound to bubble up out of your body. Oh, to express the feeling that is inside of you, whatever that feeling is. Oh, circling the other way. Really isolating the waist, learning to find our core, moving from our core. Good. Coming forward and back. Keeping the knees nice and bent, getting a nice little burn in the thighs here. Waking up. Dropping the breath deep into the pelvic floor. Turns out we're very much still learning how to breathe. Rolling up, bouncing a little here. The bounce is going to be our refrain today. We're going to come back to the bounce again and again as a way of just dropping deeper into a state of internal ease. Oh, letting some sound come out as you bounce. Softening the belly. Beautiful. And rolling the shoulders back gently. Opening and closing the front and back bodies in complement to each other. You can feel the opening and closing, the yin and the yang. If you notice, your spine might want to become involved. Your hips and your waist might want to become involved in the shoulder roll. Just let that happen. Explore how that wants to happen naturally. And just let the body be whole and linked. Oh, letting any sound out that wants to emerge from this body. Alternating the shoulders back. Oh, again, feeling the opening and closing of the right and left side. One side opens to make way for the other to close and vice versa. There's never an opening without some equal and opposite closing somewhere in the quantum field. Rolling forward now. Again, including your your hips in the movement as they want to, as they become naturally involved, especially more easily as you keep your knees bent, keep your weight rooted firmly. This practice has emerged for me personally out of a investigation of something that Chonsa said. 3 simple words. Easy is right. Coming back to the bounce. Easy is right. And this discovery that I've made, really especially over the last few years, but throughout my martial arts journey, of how much passive tension I carry in my nervous system, how much I'm holding in all of these systems of my body. How unconsciously I hold tension in places where tension isn't necessary, because I have been entrained in the way of tension and holding and contraction and force by a culture that is rooted in those frequencies, by well-meaning family members who inherited that tension in their own bodies and transmitted it to me through my genetics and through the way that they related to me. And when we're fighting the current of life, we have to force things. We have to make intense instruments of power in order to force the world to take the shape that we want it to take. But when we are learning how to collaborate with life, when we're learning how to ride the current of life, then we become more exquisitely sensitive and attuned. Our tools become more elegant and simple. And we learn how to apprentice ourselves to the way of ease, finding the thread, finding the currents of ease in our life, finding the currents of what feels good. So just allowing now for just an innate exploration of the connection between shoulders and hips and waist, as you just get in there, your body, your investigation, your incarnation, allowing the shaking and the jiggling. Charge our bodies up with some chi, and we're going to risk doing this standing up, and I want you to be aware that you might get lightheaded, and that lightheadedness, this is my own personal investigation, please take care of your body in whatever way you need to, but I believe that, this may sound really weird, but I believe that levitation will be experienced as something like passing out. It'll be experienced as something like completely surrendering control of the body, and that we will ultimately learn how to fall upwards on the current of levity. So we're going to take a moment to breathe and generate a field of intense nutrient in our body with oxygen. We're going to be including our whole body in the breath that we're going to breathe here, to just play with this sense of what it means to really surrender into a rhythm of breath. And I'll say that, we are very familiar with the force of gravity, this beautiful yin force that just cradles us against the Mother Earth. And we have these vast resources devoted to fighting gravity and flying up into the universe with these massive machines, these giant cocks piercing the skies. And I believe that our path upwards will more elegantly involve joining the current of levity. which is an equal and opposite force. None of us would be standing if there weren't a force of levity that were calling us upward, and we can feel that levity operating on our spines even as we feel our feet rooted in the earth. So we're playing with this force. So we're gonna breathe in as we roll up, exhale as we roll down, breathing in through the mouth, letting the breath roll through your body. Oh. 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 No force. Oh. 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 Oh, no force. Oh. Oh. Finding the way your body wants to receive this breath. Oh. 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 Taking care not to whip your head too far back. Oh. Oh, really bending the legs. Oh, 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 oh. Pausing to shake or bounce when you need to. Oh, inviting this nutrient in. Making room, making space inside of you for something new. You know, we spend a lot of our lives creating the familiar for ourselves, looking for and recreating the known. And as we emerge into a new paradigm, or as a new paradigm emerges through us, we're going to find ourselves doing a lot of things we've never done before, thinking a lot of things we've never thought before, moving in a lot of ways we've never moved before, becoming fully incarnated in these bodies that are made of light and consciousness, vibrating at various frequencies. Just coming into your own rhythm of the spinal wave for a moment, exploring it. Get a little jiggle going down low. You know, I used to, when I was in yoga, and I would do a stretch or a move or a static thing, and I would start to shake, I would be ashamed. I used to be ashamed, like I was doing it wrong, or like I was weak. I was failing at that exercise because I wasn't perfectly still. But it turns out that that shake is one of the most precious emergent properties of the body that we can learn how to cultivate. That shake is an innate faculty of releasing trauma, releasing tension within a system. So we're learning how to just find that shake inside of us, that natural shake. So I want to invite you to play with just like rising up little bit by little bit and coming down little bit by little bit until you can feel your body start to create its own bounce. Just coming down a little bit and feeling where that shake wants to happen. And giving it permission. You can stop it from happening. You can tighten up and stop that shake from happening. But the shake that we're ultimately looking for, even as we sort of shake our body intentionally. The shake we're looking for is involuntary. It's the involuntary. It's the and our bodies are a storehouse of every experience our species has ever had. Our bodies are a storehouse for every experience our species has ever had. Within the coils of our DNA is such vast information, it's incomprehensible to the mind. Utterly incomprehensible. We've been trained to use our minds to figure out reality and to choose our life and to make things happen. The mind has been placed at the top of the hierarchy in this millennium-long experiment in patriarchy, in force, in doing. But we're learning to create equity within the civilization of our body. We're learning to listen to ourselves, our bones, our blood, our heart, our sacrum. So the mind gets to just become a witness. Even if we just did this bouncing, and this sounding, you can lift up your heels and drop them down through the floor. But all of that fear, all of that tension, all of that pain, all of that shame, all of the grief of humanity is right here in our DNA. We need look no further. And we've been trained to see that as a burden. As something to hide. As something to deny. Or something to fix. But it turns out it is one of our most precious inheritances. This pain, this grief, this fear. So coming to a place of stillness for a moment at your own pace and your own time, to what we call Wu Chi. Knees slightly bent, pelvis tucked gently forward, spine elongated, crown of the head being drawn upward by the force of levity, by a gossamer thread dangled down from the angels. Arms completely relaxed, hands relaxed, belly soft. And I want you to bring your awareness within and just notice where your attention is drawn within your body. This is an opportunity to seek gently for any dis-ease in your body. Any little tension, any place of contraction, any place of numbness, and rest your awareness in that place. We're here to welcome this. If you notice a spot, you can place your hands really gently there, just like resting them there. We're not massaging it, we're not pushing at it, we're not trying to make it be any different than it is. We're just bringing our full presence there, breathing gently into that space beneath our hands. No force. In through the nose, out through the mouth. This breath is just delivering your awareness, your full presence to this pain, to this contraction. Breathe with it like you would approach a feral animal. So slow, so gentle. When you have your awareness, when you really are cradling it in your awareness, I want you to allow the sound of that feeling to just pour out of you. Not the sound you want to bring to that feeling, but the sound that is emanating from that feeling. Whatever emotion is here, just give it full permission to have your No force, just permission and some energy of allowance and support. This, your ancestors, this, the sacred wound of humanity, this collective pain that you carry in your body, in this organ of your body, that you carry alongside all of your brothers and sisters, on behalf of all of your brothers and sisters, just giving this pain a voice, giving this tension an opportunity to be heard and seen and not hidden away. Your fear is welcome here. Your grief is welcome here. Your shame is welcome here. Your regret is welcome here. Oh, thank you for bringing it right here and now. Thank you so much for coming. Just sending waves now of gratitude to this pain in your body. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. I love you. And you can let that ripple out through your body if it wants. The body starts to shake or starts to quiver or has some contractions. Just let it, allow it, surrender to it. It's safe. Fear is safe. Grief is safe. Whatever you feel is welcome and precious and beautiful. And if numbness is what you feel, please love that numbness. Give yourself permission to feel the numbness. Numbness is itself a feeling. Let the sound of that numbness, come forth. Your rage is welcome. Let your body begin in the natural way to make whatever sounds are nourishing. Maybe there's a sound you can make that you can feel vibrating in the place that your awareness is resting. Make this personal, but it is so not personal. I promise you, your ancestors, generation after generation, felt this pain right here and did not know what to do with it. You would not feel it if they had had the awareness and capacity to transmute it in their lifetime. So it's up to you. They have honored you by bestowing and entrusting to you the wounds that live in your body. contractions come, it's like a birthing. You can let sometimes your whole body just it tightens up and then just let your own voice vibrate through your body. Let the sound, the medicine of your own voice subtly agitate the molecules. And if you are feeling stuck, if you're not knowing what to do, if you feel confused or resistant or dissociated, that is okay. It's so safe to be dissociated. It is so deeply ingrained in us to check out. It's scary to touch into our pain. We do not have the training. We have not been trained and shown. So we are having to emerge these technologies from within. So starting to let your body move now, starting to come back to a sense of what is pleasurable. Find what is pleasurable in your movement in this moment and give that pleasure to your system as it has just sort of shaken loose, opened up and expressed something very painful. You can touch your own body with your hands anywhere you like. This is your body. This is your experience. Whatever feels delicious to you, whatever feels nourishing and loving to your body in this moment. Touch your legs, your thighs, your buttocks, your sacrum, your belly, and touch your sex. Touch your breasts, touch your throat, touch your face, touch the crown of your head. Let your body move in whatever way it is guided to move. Surrendering to the movement of the body. We're learning how to get out of the way of our bodies. Our bodies are very intelligent and deeply tapped into the current of life and the inconceivably complex harmony of every molecule in existence. Our mind, on the other hand, is very sort of in a pretty small range of what's actually happening here, and often thinks it knows, and if it doesn't know, then it doesn't do. If it can't figure it out, but the body just knows. It's a cellular knowing that we're learning how to celebrate, venerate, surrendering to. I invite us to take 5 deep breaths together with a sigh in through the nose. Here we go. As we inhale, let the force of levity draw us upwards. Exhaling, dropping down into the force of gravity. 2 more, drawing in the PC muscle as you inhale, drawing energy upward from the Aina. The last one, we're going to hold it at the top, deepest breath of the day. Take another sip. Open the heart. Beautiful. Right here, we're gonna just start to turn the waist and let the arms, the noodles that are dangling from our shoulders, swing around. When you use as little effort from our shoulders or biceps as possible. Just turning the waist, looking over your shoulder, keeping the knees, keeping the stance pretty rooted in the forward direction, keeping the hips pretty oriented in the forward direction. But turning the waist and using the waist, generating this swinging motion from the waist. We're learning how to find our center on a very physical level. As we find our center on a very physical level, we also find our center at an emotional level, at an energetic level, at a relational level. But our physicality is essential. Rooting, twisting around that beautiful axis of the spine. Learning how to just completely release any doing of the arms and letting the whole swing just ripple out from the center of the body. You can do it really small and just keep it really quiet and slow, or you can generate a bigger swing. You can shift like you're doing a lunge or going into warrior pose. You can really change the rotation. Keep your spine erect. Keep your spine up. Still keep that center, and it's all coming from the legs and the waist. My shoulders are not the least bit tired. I could do this for hours. Good. And bring it back in. And I want to invite you to bring a little bit of energy in for the biceps here. We slap the kidneys and the lungs, the lung point at the same time. This is really good Qigong. Kidneys support the lungs. Chinese medicine. Oh, and then shake it up. Oh. Oh. And lock the legs and just circle the waist here. It's like your head and your feet are locked in and your waist is circling around them. And you can really then let the head loose and start to explore your range all the way around 360 degrees of this beautiful pelvis, this sacrum, this sacred place in your body, this sex center. And you can feel, if you take it slow, my arc is not a circle, it's like a flower. Just some of my muscles are more tight than others. I have more range in certain areas than others. But at any given moment, there's a muscle in each side of my pelvis that's stretching and flexing. You can circle the other way, but just take some time to just explore this range. Oh. Keep breathing. Oh, keep sounding. What does this feel like? Let the world know with the sound of your voice. Oh. Stretching hamstrings, stretching groin and hip flexors, stretching thigh. Oh. Coming back around. Oh. Beautiful. We're gonna do some core strengthening stuff and get ourselves nice and tired for a moment here. One of the great secrets of the Tao is that if you want to relax, you actually have to give yourself permission to get tight. Never in the history of the planet has a woman relaxed when a man has said, babe, just relax. So we support people in relaxing by helping and joining the tightness and increasing the tightness. And then we become capable of consciously releasing. So we're going to start with some toroidal squats here. We're going to bring our hands up through the center as we sit down. Inhaling, and then exhale, pressing the hands down. Inhaling down, squeeze the perineum. Exhaling. Keeping the knees pushed apart, you don't want the knees falling inward. Feel the energy coming up through your spine. Fountaining out the top of your head, cascading down into the Aina and then up from the Aina again. Taking it nice and slow. Blowing all your air out. Dropping it into the belly, contracting the stomach and squeezing all the air out. See if you can get your hip creases below your knees. Riding gravity on the way down. Riding gravity on the way up. I've been trained to do by my culture and trained to do is to hurry up, go faster and harder when things get difficult. And what I'm learning how to do is to slow down, to stay even more fully present in moments of discomfort. To not hurry through the pain. Four more. You can make the sound of your feeling here. opening and activating the sacral center, sacral plexus, second chakra. This is our creative force, our sexual force, the profound, limitless energy of our erotic innocence. Feel the relaxation that wants to happen in your pelvis. Let whatever wants to happen to accentuate that or explore that openness happen here. You know, people have gotten really serious about these practices like yoga, martial arts, and like they forget that those were all just experiments somebody else did. And they liked it. And they're only ever truly an invitation for you to experiment. Oh, well, what's it like when you do this? And then you get to run your own experiment. Nobody can run the experiment for you. We're going to do some balance work now and get a little stretch. So let's just start with a basic runner stretch here. Thigh stretch. First of all, notice, let's see if we can bring the hand up and keep the gaze straight ahead. And keep the knees together. And really pull on that quad, pull it towards your butt. And I want you to notice what happens when you slowly bring your gaze down, what happens in the quad stretch. And so you're looking all the way down. And then you can look back up slowly again. You're engaging your psoas muscle. You're drawing in on your psoas as you look down, which amplifies the stretch for me in the upper quad. Beautiful. While we're here, let's just slowly, you can bend that knee that you're standing on. Slowly bring the leg around to the front. And drop in to a figure four. You can press your hands together if you want to get a little stability. It's like anchoring into the air. You can find one spot on the ground to gaze into and just really work this stretch. You know, find where that stretch really wants to happen. It's not a form. It's a living, breathing, moving investigation of what gets it just the way you like it. How do you like it? How do you want to be in this space that gets you the stretch where you want it? Just exploring here. Oh. Good. And taking the foot and lifting up. Bringing it into the body. Oh, just opening the front body. Oh, rolling the shoulders back. Lengthening the spine. Pressing the pelvis forward. And slowly bringing the hand so that the thumb is on the heel. Thumb is on the heel. Right hand, right leg. Left hand, left leg. Thumb is on the heel. Palm is on the sole of the foot. And just see if you can start to create some extension, pulling on the leg, even as you extend. You can send that other arm out for balance. Just exploring balance. You can bounce. You don't have to lock the leg. And when you're ready, coming back in and dropping the leg. Shaking it out. Balancing on one foot is actually one of the most, the simplest and most effective ways to prevent the onset of Alzheimer's disease. Bring our knees together. It activates bilateral activity in the brain, and it's been proven to be preventative and also restorative for people with Alzheimer's to just balance on one foot. Balance is so interesting. We have crystals inside of we have liquid crystal in our ears that orients us to gravity. So again, lifting the hand up if you like, exploring the psoas engagement. Use both hands to really get some extra stretch in that quad. And coming around, shifting. Exploring here the range of both your balance and your stretch. It's totally okay to fall and put your foot down and get up and try again. This is just a place of exploration. This is my body, my balance. What's possible here? What's something I maybe have never done here? Pressing the pelvis forward, rolling the shoulders back and down, lengthening the spine. Playing with the occiput and imagining your head as like a rock that you're balancing on another rock. There's a place of just ease and balance. Let it be a little soft. Now you can start to feel that little head wiggle you see in many Indian men. This way of just gently balancing the cranium and the cervical spine. And slight bend in the knee if you need it. Placing your palm on the sole of your foot, extending, pushing through, straightening the leg, getting that hamstring stretch. Oh, putting it down. And we're gonna come down on all fours here for a moment. And just come into child's pose for a moment. Breathing down into your pelvis here. Oh, what's the sound of this here? Oh. No. Oh. Taking a couple more breaths here before coming up. And try something a little different today. I'm going to have everybody come over here onto the mat, onto this carpet here, if you're willing. Just crawl on over. It's animal time. We're so trained and conditioned to be civilized human beings. But we're going to explore our animal nature here a little bit. We're going to give permission to this animal part of ourselves, this genetic inheritance. We crawled on all fours for millions of years. Start to feel your animal for a moment. Even just here on hands and knees. Start to move in your animal. Start to feel that sinuousness and sensuousness, the pleasure of this animal being. Tune into your sense of smell. How does this feel? What does that smell like? What we're going to do in a moment is we're going to bring our knees up off the floor and we're going to just move around on this mat with our shins parallel to the floor. So we don't want to bring our knees up and we don't want to have our knees down. We want to have our shins parallel to the floor. And we're going to do this for a couple of minutes. We're going to all do it together and move through the space and just feel free to look at each other, to make sounds, to feel what you feel when you see each other, to interact, and just see how it feels to be animals. And I want to give, maybe I'll check in on consent first. Who would like not to be touched during this exercise? Okay, that's everybody's okay for touch. And who would like not to be smelled? Because I really want you don't want to be smelled, okay? So don't smell Katie, but full invitation, like smell people, get in there. I want to smell. What does this one smell like? Our sense of smell, our olfactory sense is so powerful. We get so much information from it, and we just don't know how to process it in our mind, but we are very much responding to it all the time. Pheromones are real. So let's all bring our knees up. Keeping the shins parallel. Really keeping on all fours if you can. This is a core strengthening exercise, so we keep our shins parallel so we can really feel our core. Lean into each other, press into each other, keep those knees off the floor with a core strength. Yeah, find somebody to make contact with. Even if it starts to burn, keep those knees close to the floor. Let that core remain engaged. Use your teeth, use your sense of smell. Those elbows bent, stay low. Oh yeah.
Now we're attached. All of us are attached.
Thighs are burning. Core is burning. Shoulders are burning. Good. Let's keep it up for another 30 seconds here. Oh yeah. Almost there. 10 more seconds. Oh, let that feeling come. Oh, it's burning, but let it burn. Oh. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, drop. And just come right into child's pose. Yeah. Any wiggling, any jiggling, any bouncing, tremors that might come. Let it come. Let your voice continue to carry the sound of your inner world. Oh, and drop one. Oh. Oh. No. Oh. Oh. Let's just come right into pigeon stretch here, bringing the knee up underneath you. Oh. Really leaning into the discomfort of the stretch and feeling that stretching, feeling that tension here. Breathing into it, letting the sound of that feeling come out. Oh. Opening. Oh. Switching sides when you're ready. Oh. Oh. No. Really pressing your pelvis down toward the center. Toward the center of the earth. Oh. Thank you, Tim. Oh. Exploring here, you can shift to one side and the other. This is your body. This is your investigation. This is your opportunity to feel it go deep into just the place that you need it. Oh. Let yourself feel the emotions that get released in this place. Just stay with it. Give it full permission to ripple through you. Oh. Oh. And right from here, we're going to roll over onto our backs. Oh. Yeah. First, you can place your fist just underneath your glutes here. Just Straighten your arms out and get your fists just under your glutes, not all the way under, so your tailbone is still touching the floor. They're just kind of tucked under the edges of your glutes. And you're going to press through your heels, press down, lengthen through your spine, so you can really feel a long line between your heels through the crown of your head. And you're going to lift your feet up just 6 to 12 inches off the floor. We're going to do this for 1 minute. Ready? Go. And you can breathe and make any sound that you want. The shaking comes, let the shaking come. Extend those heels. Try to keep your lower back pressed onto the floor. 30 seconds left. You're doing great. Keep breathing. Let the feeling come. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, drop. And just feel the relief. Breathe down into your belly. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. I love you. Let the shakes come through. Let's bring our knees up, feet just like 6 to 8 inches. You can almost touch your heels with your hands. And just let a little bit of jiggling happen in your pelvis. Drop your pelvis onto the carpet. It's kind of comforting. Now we're going to bring our feet up, straight up off the floor, flexing the quads, pulling the toes back towards us, and really holding and pulling in deep in the lower abdominal muscles, so we're feeling that core tension, holding the legs up, and pull them back towards you, so you're feeling the hamstring stretch, and your quads are locked, your toes are pulling back towards your face, and your legs start to quake. I'm going to do this for 2 minutes here, just feeling this quaking. Let it go deep, hold it at the core, keep breathing. Let it shake. Don't resist the shake. Go into the shake. Go move into it. Yeah. 1 minute left. Really feel it. It's all you. This is between you and you. This is your awareness. Thank you. I love you. Thank you, beautiful body. Thank you, burning pain. Thank you. Don't stop breathing. Let the sound come, whatever it is. Keep those legs locked. 30 more seconds. the hamstring stretch now. Feel it in the hip flexors, feel it in the quads, 20 seconds. Keep the low back down. Dig into that core, 10 seconds. Good, and relax. Feet flat on the floor. And jiggle, wiggle, tremor. The tremor move through your spine. Let your jaw relax and slacken. Feeling whatever's here. Bringing the feet all the way together, and letting the feet first just fold out into a butterfly stretch, so you feel what it's like to have your legs totally slack. Bringing your heels close to your body in this butterfly stretch, pressing the pelvis upward, flexing and unflexing one glute at a time as you stretch into the hip flexors. Exploring what's here in the stretch for a moment, an opening. Pressing down with the blades of your feet onto the floor, almost lifting your buttocks up off the floor. You can lift them all the way off the floor and kind of explore a little bit back and forth. Lift your glutes up. Just rest for a moment in stillness. You may feel sensation in your perineum, in your sex center, feeling just pleasure pulsing here. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring our knees about halfway to vertical, with our feet touching each other. And we're going to hold our knees there. And we're going to start to feel the tremor show up sooner or later here. Holding your knees in that halfway up position. You'll find the spot. Maybe yours is a little below halfway up, maybe it's a little under. But we're just going to hold this tremor for 3 minutes. Let the tremor go deep into your psoas. You don't have to do anything, but keep your knees in a certain position. The tremor will do itself. Just take a moment to give permission to this beautiful pelvis, the sex center, to release any tension that it no longer needs to hold. And just acknowledge the profound tension that we've inherited here, the shame, the hiding. Many of us have even been ashamed to touch our own bodies in a pleasurable way, to enjoy the beautiful, exquisite pleasures of sexuality. Many of us have been the recipients of violations of consent in this place. Who carries trauma that we have experienced directly, and the trauma of those who came before us that was not digested and processed. So we give permission for that tension to be felt, gently released, any sound that wants to come forth from this place. Keeping the knees up and letting that tremor happen. Heels are about 6 inches from your anus, maybe 8. Knees are not all the way splayed out and not all the way up, just letting that involuntary tremor bounce. just the place where we feel sexual pleasure. This is our creative power. This is where the seeds of new life live. This is a channel through which all of our creativity flows. So we make room, we open, we relax, we give thanks, we give love to this birthing place of our creative endeavors in life. Our most beautiful life is born here. We have shut ourselves off from so much of the pleasure that's available in our daily lives because we're disconnected from this place in our body. And just exploring what's possible here, what tremor wants to happen, what shaking wants to happen in the body as we keep this position. Just 30 more seconds. Let that tremor come up through the body. You can play with arching your back or pressing it into the floor. Yeah, it affects that tremor. 10 more seconds. And 3, 2, 1. Just gently laying your knees back down in the butterfly position, opening the legs. Stretching, opening and moving the pelvis. Just resting in stillness for a moment. Feeling the sensations pulsing in your pelvic region. Dropping the breath deep down into the pelvic floor. Softening the belly. Feel the way that the sound of your voice ripples through your body. You might even be able to create a moment of self-pleasure practice with your sex center just with your voice alone. Working your pelvis again, working the waist, moving in a way that feels pleasurable to you, shaking, jiggling, dropping your sacrum. You can just kind of pump, thrust your hips a little bit, pump. Whatever feels good. This is your investigation right here in this position of what feels just right for you right now. It might not feel right for somebody else. It might not even feel right for you in 5 minutes, but right now it's just right. We get to be continually tuning in to what feels just right for me right now and doing that. It's okay to make the sounds of your own pleasure. Your pleasure is medicine. The sound of your pleasure is more beautiful than birdsong, more natural than the sound of the wind itself. We have been taught to hide the sound of our pleasure. How inappropriate that. We are learning to celebrate, embrace, amplify that pleasure. And it's safe to be in your pleasure. Nobody else has any business telling you how or when you can enjoy your body. knees back and forth, side to side. Open up the hips. You can straighten one leg and adjust the hip over as you pull one knee across your body with your hand. Leave the opposite hand on the floor, looking at the hand with the palm up. Getting that nice twist. Breathing down into the belly as you do this. So really feel the wringing out, the twisting in your kidneys. Shifting sides to the right. To gently, slowly, easily push your onto our side. Let your belly just hang. And take your hand and sort of jiggle your belly, massage it a little bit. Feel your belly just kind of jiggling there. I'll invite us up onto all fours again for a moment. Just exploring the pelvis knots here. You can bring your knees out wide. And, feel that opening. Start to feel a spinal wave come through here. Again, this is your body, this is your moment to explore and investigate the stretch that feels really right to you in this moment. Before we close with some breath, just take another moment to be in your body on the floor here, to be in the space with the other brothers and sisters who are here together, and just with a sense of innocence and curiosity, just seeing and being seen. Seeing the eyes, seeing into the being. We're just gonna roll around, crawl around, interact with each other in whatever way feels yummy. We're just animals. We're just beautiful, intelligent, exquisitely crafted creatures of the earth. essence of co-regulation, of soothing the nervous system through touch, through contact, through presence, listening. It's safe to feel pleasure, it's safe to feel arousal, it's safe to feel scared. It's safe to feel desire for space. It's safe to feel a desire for contact. Do one last breath practice to close it out. You can find yourselves in sitting position. If we could be a little bit close, that would be sweet. We're going to do this spinal wave and breath. Keep it going, drawing in on the perineum on the inhale, releasing on the exhale. Drawing all that delicious energy that we just generated in our pelvis into the heart. Into the crown. One more breath. Two more breaths. Last breath, hold it in. Squeeze the body. Release it all, let it all out. Soften the body, shake it out, sound it out, and hold the breath out. Soft. Full exhale and hold. hold, lengthen the spine, soften the shoulders, relax the belly. Unlocking the Mula Bandha, deep breath in, drawing up through the spine. Fingers to the eyes, hold. Pressing the eyes to the back of the head, take another sip. Squeeze the body. Bring the fingers together. Poking a little hole in samsara, release the eyes. On the spine, soft belly, jaw relaxed, shoulders relaxed, head balanced, effortless, aligned. Thank you so much for your practice today. Thank you so much for sharing this space of safety, for co-creating this space of release and coherence. Every day it gets easier and easier to breathe deeply and completely relaxed. Just taking your fingernails and digging them into your skull a little bit. It's really good for reprogramming and anchoring your schema in your brain. And scratch your head really good. Scratch it all over the scalp. Scratch yourself. Just remapping. Remapping. Thank you, Eden.